There's been a break-in at Democratic headquarters, and they were bugging the place. Woodward, Bernstein, you're both on the story now. Don't get up.
Redford.
I'm Bob Woodward of the Washington Post. Mr. Markham, are you here in connection with the Watergate burglary? I'm not here.
Hoffman.
Hi, this is Carl Bernstein of the Washington Post, and I was just wondering if you can remember...
All the President's Men. The story of the two young reporters who cracked the Watergate conspiracy.
White House.
Howard Hunt, please.
He might be in Mr. Colson's office.
Who's Charles Colson? Did you know, Howard Hunt?
Well, the White House said he was doing some investigative work.
What do you say?
They stumbled into leads.
Certainly it comes as no surprise to you that Howard was with the CIA.
No surprise at all.
They tripped over clues.
We'd like to see all the material requested by the White House.
All White House transactions are confidential.
This whole thing is a cover-up. It's right on our nose.
And piece by piece, they solve the greatest detective story in American history.
There is no way the White House can control the investigation.
I don't want to say any more, okay?
Have you been threatened if you tell the truth?
Is there a cover-up?
Don't you understand what you're on to?
Mitchell knew.
Of course, Mitchell knew.
Woodward! Bernstein! Get in here!
At times, it looked as if it might cost them their jobs.
You guys are about to write a story that says the former Attorney General, the highest-ranking law enforcement officer in this country, is a crook.
Their reputations.
Why is the Post trying to do it? I don't know.
Perhaps even their lives.
Corruption, I say. Cover-ups, payoffs, and corruption at the highest level of the United States government. Who could ever imagine such a thing? Thankfully, those days are long, long behind us. And today, we look back at a time where that could never happen again as we honor the late, great Robert Redford by discussing, off the record, the 1976 political thriller, All the President's Men. But I'm not here talking about this movie alone. No. First up is a man whose non-denial denials make me guess what he was really up to last night when he tells me he had stuff to do instead of recording a day earlier with us. My pal David, how are you doing this evening, and what are you drinking?
No, great. I'm kind of tired, actually, Mikey, to be honest with you.
This is going swimmingly.
And
I love bringing. I love that energy.
I love the energy. I can almost hear you. It's almost in English. It's really working.
I have.
What's the
I
matter
got a
with
gigantic
this?
glass of bourbon.
Nice.
What?
There you go. Speak up.
I
Yes.
can.
now?
You sound like you're underwater. I don't know why. Maybe it's me.
Really?
You sound like you're. It just sounds a little fuzzy. Yes, and you're very choppy as shit.
Sound like deep throat.
Really? I am choppy too?
Yeah.
You're on your Wi-Fi?
Fuck.
Are you connected to the Wi-Fi?
Yes, I'm on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yes.
Really? Chris is as
I think
smooth as
so.
butter, and you look
Very
like you're
sure.
Max fucking Headroom.
The
hold
people
on.
who
I'm
were
on
around
that.
during
Hold
the
on, hold on.
70s.
Hey.
Yeah, maybe just.
Wait. Is that better?
Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
What did you do? Well, it was better, and now he's gone.
Thank God. I'm doing great, bourbon, which I'm really sad
Okay.
about.
What did you do?
What?
What did you change? You said, "Is that better?" What did you do? You put it
I
on
put
Wi-Fi.
my Wi-Fi on.
Exactly.
I thought I had it on.
I can see a non-denial denial. I can see it in your face.
Perfect.
All right. Next up is a man who has a wife, a family, and a dog and a cat. Mr. Christopher Mars, how are you doing this fine evening, and what are you drinking?
Doing well, Michael. I am drinking a throwback once again to Miller Lite. I think I had my first sip of beer around the time of this movie, and
Holy shit!
it was a Miller Lite. So yeah,
I was either
I was
born
6.
or not
And
born
yourself?
yet. Yeah. Tonight is a red wine night because there's something classic, something refined, much like this movie. I'm having a little red wine, literally a little red wine because it's in a tiny little bottle.
Speaking of red wine, the reason we're doing this movie, not to cut you off.
Yes.
It's,
Neil
besides
Diamond.
it being very timely, but Mr. Redford,
yes.
we give the tribute to the great Robert Redford, who recently passed, and we hadn't done a movie up until now because we had spooky season, but great one, one of his great ones.
our second Robert Redford film, and my first time ever seeing this movie. I have a question to both of you. Christopher, when was the
What is
first,
Watergate?
When was the first time you saw this movie, and when was the last time you saw this movie?
I honestly had never seen it up until I think 4 years ago, believe it or not. And the last time I saw the movie was earlier today. So I've seen it 4 times. And I think it's great.
Excellent.
I think it's just, we'll get into everything, but
absolutely. David, I passed the same question to you. Do you know the first time you saw this movie, and when's the last time you saw this movie, and was it the same day?
I would say it was probably about maybe 10 plus years ago. And I actually watched it last month before I even knew we were doing this podcast. No, I actually watched it like 3 months ago.
3 months ago. Cool. So that's the last time you watched it. Was 3 months ago. Great.
No, I watched it. I watched it yesterday. But
that whole setup was just to see if I could catch you. It was a non-denial denial. My first time watching this was last night, with half of it, and the last time watching it was basically this is the first time I've ever seen it. And am I crazy?
What did we think, Mikey? What did we think?
That there was so much, like, never mind the fact that it's a true story, never mind the fact that it's, like what the story was, but the aesthetic of the film, the look of the film. I know it's a 70s film in the 70s.
It was made that way. He purposely wanted to make everything dark shadows in the entire movie except for the
that's the cinematography.
Yeah.
Which the set design, was an actual reproduction of the newsroom of the Post.
Apparently,
they use the same furniture and everything.
I love the world of old newspaper reporting. I love just hearing the typewriting, the way everything's frantic.
Did you know that? But did you know this though? That Robert Redford actually called Woodward and Bernstein before, as the story was unfolding, to talk to them about making a book and possibly making a movie.
See, that makes sense.
Well, they wrote the book first.
Yes.
And then
you're saying he approached them.
Yeah, he approached them in 1972 to help them kind of figure out how to produce this book. And he only wanted to produce the movie. He didn't want to be in this movie.
Well, I know he also bought the rights.
That's why his
own.
Okay.
He bought the rights on his own before because it was such a plot that you would never think this Hollywood execs would never be like, all right, let's make a movie out of newspaper reporters coming up with a story, that he needed to get the financing and everything before he announced and went ahead, with the choices. You could see it was produced by he and Alan Pakula, who does a great job, underrated director.
He's very underrated because today was the day I first heard of Alan Pakula. Yeah,
you probably saw his IMDb. Go ahead, go through the stats.
I actually have some of the stats here from 1976, written by William Goldman, who we've talked about before for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and he also was the writer of Princess Bride, based on the novel by Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, where I saw a real photo of them, and they did a pretty good job of kind of looking like them, especially Bernstein's hair. Directed by Alan J. Pakula, who I've never heard of, but he's directed such films as Sophie's Choice, Presumed Innocent, The Pelican Brief, and The Devil's Own. Starring Dustin Hoffman, Robert Redford, Jack Warden, Martin Balsam, who I swear to God I thought was the guy from The Thing, one of the guys from The Thing, but it wasn't. But we did see him in Psycho. Jason Robards, and Hal Holbrook as Deep Throat. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 94% on the critics meter and a 92% on the audience meter. And in the 10th anniversary of the AFI's Greatest American Films, it is number 77. So yes.
Excellent.
Another little fun fact too.
And on a budget. Okay.
They love you a fun fact.
Yes. Give us a fun fact.
I actually was doing a lot of research in this movie, to be honest. I actually love the acting in this movie. I love the whole movie. But did you know that Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford memorized each other's lines?
Yeah.
So that their acting could be more genuine and they can kind of like.
Yeah, it was great. And they also, famous method actor Dustin Hoffman, especially, also learned. I guess they had to type. They when they were typing, they were really typing things.
He could type. You could
he
see
got
him
so good
typing.
at it. He would really type like the news, like as if it was a story. And also the
Robert
Redford and
Redford was doing
Hoffman
more
didn't.
hunt and peck.
Yeah, he's great in this. Right, Redford's so good in this.
They both are.
But they are. But like I said, we're honoring the great man who.
Yes.
Didn't have the most range in the world. I don't think anyone would say.
Didn't need it. He just needed to show
right.
he wasn't
I was
just
going to
a pretty
say,
face,
but
though.
talk about a true movie star.
Yes.
I got sidetracked. I even totally lost my point.
The guy was so
but he was a true movie star, and he was just so huge with this, with his producing, and then obviously eventually directing, and then the Sundance Film Festival. But so I thought he was great in this, and it is kind of a shame that his only nomination was for The Sting, which I don't think is even as good as the other two movies that we've done, Butch Cassidy and this, as far as his performance, or probably even The Natural or a few other ones. But my other thing was, I was saying they didn't rehearse together. They wanted them to rehearse, and they wanted to make it more realistic and natural.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just the conversation was kind of like talking over each other and everything.
The casting was incredible. The casting was
way
incredible.
to talk more about the casting and the Oscars.
Insane. But let's be honest. Robert Redford was a fucking handsome fuck. He just was.
David Hot Alert. Repeat. This is a David Hot Alert. This is not a test.
Oh my God.
He was
incredible. Fucking handsome.
Hubba.
What do you think of him?
Huh? He's a good-looking guy, dude.
Actually, I'm putting right when he goes to handsome, I'm going to David Hot Alert right there.
Here's the thing though, like he
said fucking handsome fuck.
I think his acting is underrated. I actually like him as an actor. I think he's
I said he's a great actor. He just doesn't have like a ton of range.
He's just a charming guy.
No, but you could typecast a guy like him because of the way he looks and all that stuff. You could, but he did a lot of different things too, I thought.
Yes, I'm just saying. Like people compare him to Brad Pitt, but you don't see. He's not going to do. He just didn't do. Like something Brad Pitt would do.
Yeah, I get it.
More, quirky.
Yeah.
Doing say, Inglourious Bastards type of.
Like over the top
type of roles and Snatch and he wouldn't do quirky voices and characters like that. But again, he was just an old Hollywood, although he was new Hollywood, but back in the 70s. But no, he's a legend. He's a legend. This is nothing.
What I love about, I took a few notes. One of the things I loved is there's no B story, there's no drama, there's no personal life, there's no family. It's just the reporting.
Yes.
And it is pretty much 99.9% all on the dialogue. There's almost no like non-dialogue. I mean, there's moments of like looking around in dark corners, but it is so much dialogue in this movie.
I agree. It's shot so great. You see the Library of Congress and like Dave said, the lighting. But yes, because of the great William Goldman, who wrote the screenplay, I guess he cut it much shorter than the book because the book kept going on, and which was perfect. I thought it ended perfectly. You wouldn't think it would be so smooth a movie about reporters,
and you wouldn't think
that's the bottom line.
It would
like
be
this, and
such a massive hit because on a budget of 8.5 million, it made 70 million in the U.S., which in today's dollars would be about 330 million. It only made $650 outside of the U.S. I can imagine outside. They even said in the movie, half the country doesn't even know what Watergate is, never mind the rest of the world.
Right.
But it was a big-time box office success, and, as you talked about, big at the 1977 Academy Awards.
Yes.
Nominated
fourth
for
movie.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Oscars. Yes, this is our fourth 1976 movie. David, this is our fourth 1976 movie. Name the other three. Go.
Well, obviously Rocky.
Yes. Very recent one.
Huh?
And then there was a recent one as well.
We did a very recent one. Very recent.
Which we just did recently. What, 2 pods ago?
Yes.
Fuck, what was that?
It's all for you, David.
Oh yeah, Omen.
Yes. And then
kind of recently we did Taxi Driver.
That's right. Okay, I was like, I forgot what the fourth one was. So and you'll see some of these
Oscars
names pop up in the Oscars because it was nominated for Best Picture, but it lost to Rocky. In the acting,
I think it maybe should have. It's close.
Did Jason Roberts get nominated for this?
Jason Roberts didn't get nominated.
Not only did he get nominated,
he won.
He won, right? Did he win?
Yes.
But he deservedly won this fucking thing. Won the fucking thing. He won this movie. He won this movie. His performance was incredible as Ben Bradley, who was a real life, editor, and I guess became friends with Robart. By the way,
cool.
Jason Robart, naval hero, fought in World War II. Happy Veterans Day, by the way.
He beat out Ned Beatty, who I didn't know was in this movie. He beat out
also
Burgess,
in this movie. Right?
Laurence Olivier, and then of course he beat out Burgess Meredith and Burt Young from Rocky. For Best Supporting Actress, Jane Alexander, who's just listed as
great, by the
bookkeeper. But she lost to Beatrice Straight of Network. Alan J. Pakula was nominated for director. He lost to John G. Avildsen for Rocky.
Which Scorsese should have won, but he wasn't even nominated.
No, he wasn't even nominated. William Goldman did win the best screenplay based on previous published material. It won also art direction, sound, and it was nominated for editing, but Rocky came away with editing as well. So it was a big success, critically acclaimed, audience acclaimed, and award-winning movie. And I never saw it.
Jason Robards, that is his name again? Sorry.
Yes.
He won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 medals in World War II.
Yeah, wow. Right? And amazing. What a hero. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike.
I was just going to say F. Murray Abraham was in this too. I didn't know. He was
he was at the beginning. He was in the Watergate part, who's F. Murray Abraham, also Oscar winner. Yes. I think there was like 5 Oscar winners in this. I think Balsam won and for something else, and we know Dustin Hoffman. I think there was something crazy, like 5 Oscar winners. Jack Warden was great, right? Wasn't he? In his role, he was so likable. He had their back.
Yeah.
Hal Holbrook was great as Deep Throat.
Do you know what this reminded me of too?
Do you know that also Robert Redford literally pleaded with him to be Deep Throat?
Oh, really? Hal Holbrook?
Yes, he was all over him to cast the part.
I know they had a bunch of choices.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Zodiac. The just in the newspaper.
Yeah.
It gave me that feel. Like I feel like Fincher might have, kind of tried to give that aesthetic of the old 70s newspaper.
Dude, Hal Holbrook just died recently too. Holy shit!
Was he super old? So another interesting thing I saw on that little clip was. Those
By the
meetings.
Way, what little clip? Because no one knows. What did you send? I haven't watched it yet, so maybe I can.
Well,
post
Dave
it
said save it for the pod. He wants me to send the. It was just like 5 facts you didn't know about all the president's men. But one of them was like those scenes in the parking garage. They would just film them in random parking garage, and they didn't have security. There was like a dangerous area, so it said the tension, and Robert Redford was very scared meeting him and everything. They said some of that tension was like real. But Mikey, you'll include that in the show notes.
Yeah, I'll put that in. I'll link to that.
So I love the smoking in the newsroom. I was gonna ask you, Mikey, is there anywhere you don't pod?
Is there any place you don't smoke?
I don't know if you noticed that line.
Exactly, because he smoked. I was like, he's smoking in everyone's house. He's smoking in the elevator.
Robert Redford does the doubled.
But I loved that newsroom, and apparently, maybe I'm just. I don't know if it's a nostalgic type thing. The sound, the
sound
mania,
of the typewriters. It was great.
Just the panic, the rush, all the guys in the room trying to constructing the paper. We're going to go with this. We're going to go with that. I loved it. Oh,
I mean, Yep.
I love the old McDonald's. The old McDonald's with the old woodwork. I don't know. That just. It was like a flashback, even though this wasn't a period piece. This was, what it was at the
Right.
exact at that time.
But still very accurate.
Yes.
So, aside from the fact that, this wouldn't even be in the top 100 scandals now, the movie was really about, the business of journalism, right?
Yeah.
Well,
this in Spotlight, which I'm sure Mikey hasn't seen. I'm not even going to ask things.
But
Things
now,
you can,
now I might have
without
to.
asking, were the two greatest, I would say, newspaper movies of all time.
But watching this movie, right? Do you get the sense like how far we have fallen as a country?
Yes.
That journalism nowadays is just not even a thing. It's really just
No, unfortunately, right. There's a whole different. It's
well, now it's you can do it anywhere. You can do it on your phone.
It's right when you have AI. I mean, we could do this pod for 3 hours. And,
But my point is like
commentary on that.
like you just see people that are really they're trying to deliver a message to a broad audience. But
they're few and far between, right? Journalists. I'm sure there still are good journalists, but
I'm sure. Right. But they had to get their facts. They had to get a proof. They had to make sure that everything was right.
I loved that Ben Bradley wanted. We'll get into some of our favorite parts, but that was a couple of that. But basically every scene he was in, Jason Robards. But he wanted them to get like a third source.
Yeah.
So good.
I love their way of getting answers without getting answers, confirming without confirming. Like let me rephrase this in a way that you're not saying this, but because you're saying this, you are saying, I guess they call them non-denial denials, but the way that, like, would you be okay if we said this? Yes, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah. It was so interesting I love so much of that. And I liked how they were very different reporters. And I like the little conflict they had right away when Bernstein tried to steal his story.
If you're going to do it right. Here are my notes. If you're going to hype it with the facts. I don't mind what you did. I mind the way you did it.
Woodward, Bernstein, you're both on the story. Now don't fuck it up.
He rewrote it. Right?
I just don't like the way you did it.
And he's like, yours is better.
Redford's delivery of all his lines was so good. But I love how he was like the sharp, cutting corners, guy, and Woodward was the hard nosed, not as talented, but just as, hard pressed to and
just as hungry
and diligent and just as hungry, right? Because these two young guys, and I love how they were like, oh, these two, it's the biggest story, and you're getting, we have these two on it, and I love how Bradley, pushed them right away, and he was mad because that great scene where the idiot got confused by Bernstein's little
I thought
game.
Hold on,
he said hang up.
Yeah.
Right
Hang on.
I'd really like to help you, but I can't.
Look, I'm going to count to 10, all right? If there's any reason we should hold on the story, hang up the phone before I get to 10. If the story's all right, you'll just be on the phone after I get to 10, all right?
Hang up, right?
That's right. You got it?
Yeah.
We're straight. All right, I'm going to start counting. Okay? We all right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That guy then denied, that part of the story. But let me bang out the plot
just
super
really
fast
quick.
I
wrote down. I can't keep track of all these names, and it doesn't even matter because I just love the investigation.
Right, Colson, and they have the initials.
So many names.
So plot real quick, and I just put this in my own words now. And nowadays it's just, so if I'm off, just ignore it. June 17th, 1972, police find and arrest 5 burglars in the Democratic National Headquarters at Watergate. Mikey, explain the whole Watergate situation.
They were trying to
they named it after Spygate.
Right.
By the way, fucking journalists nowadays so originally. Let's keep using Gate. Let's keep using it every time.
Only just a hotel. So they okay, let me see if I explain it. I'm going to really try now. They broke in to try to I thought it was to try to besmirch the Democrats with the knowledge of Nixon knowing this? Or was it that, or was it them trying to remove evidence? I see. I don't know.
They're just looking. They were just looking for something.
And they were bugging them, right?
Dirt.
When they said
They were looking to rat fuck the Democratic
Yes.
or any Democratic nomination.
What was that term you guys use for screwing up the opposition?
Rat fucking.
It was all like such a minor. I mean, obviously they're burglarized.
Right.
You know,
they made something they made it
headquarters
much
is not
worse.
minor, but it is minor, right? It's like they said about it always. The cover up was much worse,
Yes.
and then it was the
Follow
fact that
the money.
You know, it was right. It was the money was all the way into Nixon's campaign, and then all the way to the White House, and Nixon knew about it. You know, that was obviously
And the fact that
what
they fucking terrorized people that were going against them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, you
people were
heard that. You heard
frightened.
Deep Throat.
Yeah.
You heard Deep Throat said it was, much bigger. It was just, there was
And it's funny,
everybody knows about it.
You hear the reporters, the not the reporters, but some of the government officials come on and go, well, obviously we see this newspaper is leaning this way and that's the way. So that shit hasn't changed at all. Like even back then they were saying this is, this is a liberal news. They're fake, not quite. Well, they're saying fake news basically. Like it's been that way all the way back to then too.
Yeah, they accuse them of being part of a political party on that side, I think. Okay, so the Washington Post assigns new reporter Bob Woodward to cover the story. Thought to be of minor importance, Woodward, along with Carl Bernstein, or as that woman keeps saying, Bernstein, uncover connections to a slush fund controlled by White House Chief of Staff H.R. Haldeman. With editor Ben Bradley's guidance and eventual backing, and a secret government informant known as Deep Throat, Woodward and Bernstein have the information go with the story, which turns out to be a bombshell. We see the effects at the end: Nixon resigning and the perpetrators being found guilty. The way it's typed out. I love how it ended. The way it was.
I think that's The Wire, because that's typing so fast. I thought that was coming in over The Wire, but I love that they're using. Like that's your title, the end card. Instead of it being, like just words on the screen, it's the news coming through The Wire. I thought that was awesome. And I loved how the ending that Dave, I guess, is that what Dave said? I didn't think I'd get, but my interpretation
You heard
is,
my thing. I didn't understand how someone would get it or
wouldn't
not
get it. Like
I don't know what
they're
you meant.
Showing Nixon getting nominated, like being inaugurated. And
right,
all
that
this
was
happens
happening live.
while these two guys are still, they're not stopping. They're not there. The news doesn't stop. They don't stop. And of course, eventually it all unravels. Shit.
Is that what you meant, Dave?
Is that what you meant? I wouldn't get.
I mean, it literally just ends. Like you think, you're gonna see a whole thing with at the end, like getting,
Right. It's like we know how it ends, but this is how they get there. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people want that gratification, seeing that actually these people get their justice, but it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah. Nope, exactly. And I think they changed the ending, or they rewrote the ending. Did we mention this was the second movie? You mentioned Martin Balsam, but Jack Warner also.
Yes, this is our second Jack Warden, because we did Problem
Jack
Child.
Warden. Warden.
Yeah.
We didn't do Problem Child.
No,
we did Used Cars. No, we didn't. We will do that someday from Robert Zemeckis. Heaven Can Wait.
And this is our second Dustin Hoffman film as well.
Yep, sounds right. We did
the Dustin Hoffman film.
Bugsy.
Nope.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, it took me a moment. I was like, wait, even I remember that one.
It took me a second actually to
maybe we'll do Max Dugan
remember.
Returns, to go back to Jason Robards, because that's the first thing I think of when I think of him.
He is in Once Upon a Time in the West, which is a fantastic movie. But yes, he's great. But I just loved the score. Also was pretty good. How most of the time it was like no score at all, right?
Yeah,
it was very quiet when they were talking. When they're talking or making the phone calls.
This could have been a play too.
Yes,
with two guys making phone calls. I could just watch them make phone calls. They said
it was such great exposition the way they
Yeah.
laid out the story, right? It wasn't
with Robert Redford on a phone call.
Oh yes, it was a 6-minute scene, uncut. He said the wrong
when he
name,
screwed up,
and he just kept going with it.
Yes, I'm sorry I hung up before. I wasn't sure you were a Washington Post reporter.
I believe we were talking about a $25,000 check.
Obviously, this is difficult for me. I'm caught in the middle of something, and I don't know what.
What do you think it could be?
Well, I deal with a lot of important people.
People who work for the committee? Hello?
For the committee.
The committee to re-elect the president?
Yes. You see, I raised that money in cash, and I have a winter home in Florida.
Is that Miami?
Boca Raton. And I didn't want to carry all that cash around. Now, you can understand that.
Oh, of course I can.
So I had it exchanged for the cashier's check.
And how do you think it got into Barker's account?
I know I shouldn't be telling you this. I gave it to Mr. Stans.
I beg your pardon?
I gave it to Stans.
Maurice Stans? The head of finance for Nixon?
Yes, in Washington. Now, what he did with it, I really do not know.
I see. Were there any other checks, sir, that you might be aware of that could have come...
That's all I had to say.
Mr. McGregor. Mr. Dahlberg. I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
Oh, perfect. And then it's great how they, I forget which was it, Sloan, that ended up being one of the major informants. But he asked if they had the baby yet or how was the wife.
Yes, Elise Keaton from Family Ties.
Oh yes,
Baxter.
Yeah,
and
I forget the guy who played. Yep.
That's Stephen
Very
Collins.
shady.
Creep.
We don't want to
creep Stephen Collins. Who? I mean, he is D and Dennis's
yes, he
actual
is.
father, but he is a bit of a creep as well in real life.
Yep, big time. Yeah, and some who else were in like minor roles? The guy who was Segretti, whatever. He's kind of very entertaining. The guy who was the lawyer. Who was I'm just a lawyer,
I can't tell you these things. Like I loved.
Yeah.
So many people couldn't talk. Or, the lawyer that he went to the house. That lawyer, that guy. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I also like the lawyer at the beginning where he's like, "I'm just a lawyer. I'm just here."
That guy. That guy was great. He's like, "Well, I'm obviously here." Yeah. It was just went down so smooth.
Follow the money. That's
that's an all-time famous line.
Forget the myths that the media's created about the White House. The truth is, these are not very bright guys, and things got out of hand.
Hunt's come in from the cold. Supposedly he's got a lawyer with $25,000 in a brown paper bag.
Follow the money.
What do you mean? Where?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
But you could tell me that.
No, I have to do this my way. You tell me what you know, and I'll confirm. I'll keep you in the right direction if I can, but that's all.
So that came from that? Follow the
Yes.
money. It started. See, that's funny. It's just a thing that like is in the lexicon of like, and I didn't know it came from. Oh, also, I had a question, and maybe you know the answer to this.
What was Deep Throat the real movie? Dave's gonna have
You
to
absolutely almost took the words out of my Deep Throat. Deep Throat. Did
Whoa,
the movie?
please don't ever say that.
Did the movie get named? Did the new movie get named after the informant, or did the informant get named after the movie? Like I don't know.
The informant got named after the movie.
So the movie came
I
first,
think
and that's
Google,
why.
Yes, that's why that guy, the other editor. By the way, the other editor was like, Mountain Balsam. I think that was right. Who? By the way, he.
Yeah, the movie's
I guess
1972.
The real guy. Oh, I know. The real guy thought he should have been a much bigger deal because it's, I guess he had a lot more sway than they show in the movie, Martin Balsam's character. But yes, it was great how he's just like, oh yeah, he's deep undercover. So that guy's name was never known up until like 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah, it was a few years ago. Yeah, but I remember
because when he died, I think, and he wanted to, take care of his family, whatever. He was
he
an
put a book
FBI
out,
agent,
didn't
Mark.
he? Yeah.
What was it? What's his name? Mark.
I will look.
Mark. It's a short name. Lent. No.
It is Mark Felt. Oh, that even when I hear that now, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Mark felt very, very upset about the whole Watergate scandal.
I see what you did there. Actually, he didn't. He was.
Dave's been holding on to that one since for the last 5 minutes.
Well, listen, I don't even know if you could.
Oh, it's Holbrook. Fuck.
Can you really name the best scenes of this movie? Because I don't really think there's one scene that sticks out over.
That's a good point.
I know there is. My favorite
it's like
scene.
One gigantic scene.
There wasn't any huge scenes, but when they meet with Ben, at the end, and when they go to his house, and he's like, he just lays it out for him.
The results of the latest Gallup poll? Half the country never even heard of the word Watergate. Nobody gives a shit. You guys are probably pretty tired, right? Well, you should be. Go on home. Get a nice hot bath. Rest up 15 minutes. Then get your asses back in gear. We're under a lot of pressure, and you put us there. Nothing's riding on this except the First Amendment of the Constitution, freedom of the press, and maybe the future of the country. Not that any of that matters. But if you guys fuck up again, I'm going to get mad.
And tells him, not much on the line, just the
that was really good.
Constitution, and then that, and then
freedom of the press.
He says to Bernstein, "Run that baby."
I did love that. Yep.
That was great. That was great, and I love the story. I just love even his scenes with the newsroom. You see the camaraderie, and he's like telling them about how LBJ. He was obviously a reporter, and LBJ had something to do with Hoover, and they're like, oh yeah, and tell Ben Bradley I said fuck you. So I'm sure he wore that as a badge of honor.
I like the scene where Bernstein waited them out, like at the in the waiting room. She's like, I'm sorry. The woman calling her Bernstein.
Yeah.
And then goes in, and Ned Beatty's character is there.
Yeah, Ned Beatty, he was kind of funny, right?
Right. He wasn't going to say anything, and he's like, well, then I'm just going to run with what I have. And that
right. Supposedly that's the one thing they just totally made up.
Okay.
There was nothing in Florida. But I love that. Yeah, that was entertaining. And then also when he was weaseled his way into Jane Alexander, the bookkeeper's house.
Hi, I'm Carl Bernstein of the Washington Post, and I just want to ask you a couple of questions.
Well, you don't want me. You want my sister. It's for you. It's Carl Bernstein.
Oh my God, he's the guy from the Post.
Could I just borrow one of your cigarettes there?
Sure.
You've really got to go.
Sure. Could I just get a match? I can understand you're being afraid. There's a lot of people up at the committee just like you who want us to tell the truth, but some people wouldn't listen. Certain people have gone back to the prosecutors and the FBI to give information which they were never asked.
Her sister's there, and he says, "Is that a cigarette? Can I grab a cigarette?" That's how he gets in there. And then the sister asks if he wants coffee, and oh boy, he sure. And he's like, "Can I sit down?" And it's just so great how he
the breath on these men
way in there. Yes,
in that room alone, the cigarettes and coffee in that newsroom with those old men.
Oh my God, yeah, I know.
Jesus.
So.
And I like that he goes, oh, the door's stuck, and he goes to close the door, and he's like, well, let me just ask you, let me just say this. Can I just say this? Like, he doesn't give up.
Yep. He was right. Very determined. And she's been in a few movies. She's, Jane Alexander was in Kramer versus Kramer, actually.
I did see that.
Which is another great movie. Which is another great movie.
Fantastic Hoffman performance.
Oh.
Tootsie, I'm sorry. It's a great movie too.
Tootsie, I saw.
What's that?
I actually was talking about Tootsie tonight with my buddies tonight for some reason. I don't know why.
Tootsie's very entertaining.
It is. Bill
Grace
Murray,
and I watched it a couple months ago. Yeah, Bill Murray and as his roommate. But yeah, no, just the other scene I enjoy is when Woodward and Bernstein, when Woodward goes to his house and he tells him it could be bugged, and they're typing to each other.
They'd rather type than write.
Our lives are in danger, right? Very entertaining.
That's when
very well done. Well, just a tight.
It took me 49 years to see it, and it is available. You know what? I'm going to put a link to it because It is available for free to watch on YouTube.
You know, of all the shit that we talk, hold on, of all the shit that we talk about, you shit on me about 80s movies, right? I feel like I brought more like 70s movies to the tables than 80s.
Oh, all right.
I mean, you're obsessed with 80s lately.
Example?
That's the only point.
Can I give you examples, David?
I mean, example. First of all, stop acting like you're fucking better than me, Mikey, before I shove your fucking head right up your asshole. Okay?
So that's a non-denial denial.
Are you saying Are you saying you brought this movie? I mean,
yeah, I'm saying what 70s
I can say
movie?
that I've seen this. I can say that I'm a bigger fan than all of you.
Fucking asshole! You are such a twat.
Point awarded to David.
Wait a minute. He didn't.
He doesn't bring the 70s. He just brings the better fandom.
No, listen. Like Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid. I love those movies. I love those old 70s movies. For some reason, that's my favorite decade of movies to watch.
And I love it. I love that.
I feel like that's when movies started
your...
becoming gritty, real.
Well, that type of Hollywood really, that in the 90s, 80s, there are a handful. There are a real good amount of fantastic
like Superman,
classics,
Goonies,
but
Back
it's
to the
not.
Future,
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, the heyday, the two best decades, obviously, the 90s and the 70s. But, you were obsessed with the 80s. That's why we put up a couple.
See, I think I am more, but I'll let him take the fall for it.
You are. Well, because he brought an 80s movie like 5 weeks in a row. He just kept mentioning it.
It's a lot of great movies.
At some point, I still want to do ET at some point.
It's a whole decade of wonderful movies.
We're doing it in the new year. We already mentioned that. You're spoiling what we're doing.
I still want to do Curly Sue
out of the gates.
You know what I want to do too at some point?
Jack, the Robin Williams movie.
No. I just lost my train of thought though.
Fuck. Good.
Thank God.
No,
I'm going to tell you what movie.
I want to do Close Encounters. Why have we not done
I was
that one?
thinking of Close Encounters the other day because I picture Chris explaining movies to his family like with the mashed potatoes. Like you're trying to explain things to them and they're just all looking at you.
Someday. I mean, there's a lot of classics we haven't done. We haven't done Shawshank. We haven't done, we'll be doing a lot. We haven't done Django Unchained. We haven't done a ton of classics.
Which Mikey's never seen. I mean, there's so many movies that Mikey has never seen.
I've never seen.
To be honest, there's so many movies you haven't seen. Like, there's so many movies I haven't seen, but then I've seen every movie compared to the movies you've seen.
Yes,
Dave.
What's that?
I mean, you haven't even seen. There's so many movies you haven't seen.
You too, and your freaking butt better than or whatever. One up.
No, it's a fact. Isn't that a fact? He hadn't even heard of Weapons.
I didn't even watch Feast of the Seven Fishes yet. No. I haven't watched that yet.
Have you watched the?
I haven't.
What's the movie? Jingle All the Way. What was the movie?
No, All Is Bright with Paul Rudd and Giamatti. I just started it. I've never seen it. I'm gonna watch it. It's from 2013.
He's very.
There's a lot of crappy Christmas movies. I've never seen Jingle All the Way. I saw 10 minutes of it.
I think I saw that.
There
Christmas
are
with the
movies
Cranks
that I put on that I will either like, and if I like it, I'll keep it on. If I don't, I will shut them off.
Yeah, you did that with the all-time classic Uncut Gems.
He's even better. Dave, you're the best at watching movies. You win.
I'm going to challenge myself to watch movies that I've never seen, like Christmas in Connecticut.
That's what I do. I just don't do Christmas movies all that much.
Like you don't watch any.
I watch movies every June.
We're going to
movies I've
discuss
never
our
seen.
Christmas. You know what? Let's put a bow in this so you can lead us into, even though it won't be a Christmas movie, but we're going to talk about that.
We're not at Christmas yet, but we are that much closer to Thanksgiving. And so we thought, why not? Every Christmas we go back and we revisit It's a Wonderful Life. Why not this Thanksgiving go back and revisit a movie that we talked about, I think, a couple years ago, but it is definitely one of the favorites of two of our hosts here. And to me, it's become not a favorite yet because I haven't seen it since we talked about it last. But I look forward to seeing it again. That's just not who I am, man. I look forward to seeing it again as we shut the fuck up. As we replane.
Stranger Things every 2 seconds.
Oh my God! It's replane, retrain, and re-automobile. I guess because we are going back to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
It warms the cockles of my heart, and also, we'll talk about John Candy, I Like Me.
Yes,
on a related note.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh, was it Okay.
We talked about it already.
We'll
He
talk
didn't
about
like
it.
as much.
But hold on. Hold on. For our listeners.
He brings up Yellow
if you
Belly
have-
again.
Go watch it. But Yellow Belly is probably
yeah.
the funniest thing in the entire.
I told you.
It looks so. It's hilarious. I know. I agree.
Well, I'm looking forward to revisiting that movie and watching the John Candy documentary. But until then, you can find us on Blue Sky at Fine Movies and on Instagram at Fine Movies, Fine Spirits. David, are there any parting words from you, my friend?
No.
And Christopher, are there any parting words from you?
No. Happy Veterans Day. I am excited to take a break from the Christmas holiday season, which started when the clock struck 12 on November 1st. But
you switched over from spooky season to turkey season.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean Christmas season, but we take this detour?
You guys go to
detour
Christmas. Christmas doesn't start for me until
Dell
December
and
1st.
Yep. To each his own.
That's right.
But that's it. I'm excited. What about you?
I just wanted to see how long you'd keep going. Yeah, I got nothing.
We talk about great movies while drinking. We talk about great movies while drinking. Yeah, we talk about great movies while drinking. And we feel fine.
Mikey, you can find Mikey at any bathhouse across New England.
I like to be clean.
Fast non experts.